Welcome to Impact by DIFFA Dallas, the official podcast of the Dallas chapter of the Design Industries Foundation Fighting AIDS. We'll share valuable info about the fight against HIV and AIDS, what our organization is doing to assist those in our community, and most importantly, how you can help us make a real impact.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Impact. I'm Shane Allen. Welcome back. We've been on a slight hiatus since the end of last year, so we're starting things back up with Impact. We're glad that you're here with us. If you haven't yet, by the way, take the time to subscribe on wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel there. If you're watching this on Facebook, I don't know how to do that, but make sure you follow us so you get these updates when these new podcasts come out, and also available, by the way, wherever you get your podcasts. We thought this would be a really good opportunity to just talk about DIFFA. It's been a really unique fundraising season for us. Our season runs from July to June, so we're still going on to June of this year in this current fundraising season. It's kind of like what you would call a fiscal year at work, right? Our biggest events, we really haven't been able to have in a while because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We did have a really successful wreath collection late last year, probably one of our most successful, and it was all virtual, and it was all thanks to you. So thank you to everyone who engaged in that. Thank you to everyone who donated a wreath. By the way, Haley Clark is joining me. She's one of our newest board members on the DIFFA board. How are you, Haley?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
And I brought you in because I want to talk a little bit more about Wreath. I saw Part-Time Justin this weekend.
Yes.
From the Kid Kadak Morning Show.
Yes.
And they made a wreath for us.
Yes.
And I'm not a guy that gets really starstruck or anything. And I was like, I should really go up to him and thank him for making making a wreath.
Right.
And I thought about it. He was at a drag brunch that I was at with the Fly Queens, and I didn't do it.
Well, you should have.
I know.
We should thank everyone who helps and gets involved with us.
Yes.
And I'm always surprised to see how many people just want to share their time, their money, their effort to help DIFFA.
Let me tell you why I didn't do it, though. It's because it was at a drag brunch. It was very safe and socially distanced and outdoors. And,
right.
But this woman came up to him earlier, and she was like, I love your show so much. It's the best show. You're so good at it. You're such a good. And I just, after he experienced that, I didn't want to be like
the next in line, and he's like,
hey,
oh gosh.
I'm not one of those kinds of people, but I just want to say thanks for doing this thing. So if you're watching Part-Time Justin, thank you. And everyone at the Kid Kadak Morning Show, and everyone who made a wreath to make our wreath collection the most successful, one of the most successful.
And more importantly, why was I not invited to brunch?
Writing that note.
Thank you. I'll share my email address in case you forgot it. Right.
So one of the silver linings you and I were talking about before we started recording this is to this season is that we really get to focus on what DIFFA is about.
Right.
We're known for having the best events in Dallas, whether it be the House of DIFFA, our signature event, Burgers and Burgundy, or the Wreath Collection. They are known by anyone you'll ask to be the best events.
Absolutely.
In Dallas. We haven't been able to do that because we've chosen to take the responsible route, as many nonprofits have. And but we've really used it as an opportunity to focus on why we're here and why we really do what we do. And something that we did during our new board orientation last year was we all went around a kind of a campfire setting, and we all said our personal reason why we're involved with DIFFA.
Right.
Do you mind sharing yours?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was super impactful moment during the board retreat. And, first of all, just so thankful and appreciative to be a part of this group and have felt so welcomed and have done my best to give as much time and effort as I can to this board because it means a lot to me. And so at Campfire, I feel like it was like sort of like a, touching moment just because we were all around the fire and it was so neat. But I am a part of DIFFA because of the idea of inclusiveness. I think that the impact of AIDS and, really having the coronavirus as a virus, thinking about the impact of what we now see, how widespread and how it's really not about one certain community. It's about all of us. And there's so much about fighting AIDS that we know actually a lot more than we knew about corona. And that was really interesting kind of to be a new board member during this pandemic and thinking about viruses. That being said, just knowing that really it's about all of us and really for DIFFA being a Dallas area chapter, knowing that all of us in different parts of Dallas and different neighborhoods and different everybody can benefit from helping DIFFA. And there's so many people that are benefited in so many different backgrounds from DIFFA. So I just like to be a part of this to raise awareness that it's really about all of us and we can all pitch in to address the AIDS issue in Dallas.
And you brought up something really important was the inclusiveness. A lot of people have this incorrect assumption that HIV and AIDS is a gay man's problem.
Right.
First of all, it's not a problem.
Right.
Second, it is a problem that we haven't eradicated yet.
Right.
And that's still something that we're working towards. But it's something that people who are living with it will continue to live with it until there's a vaccine or a cure. And they'll die with it, not from it. But it affects more than just the LGBTQIA population. It affects women. It affects children.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't really see the person and say, "Oh, there's a gay person." That's right. It affects everyone.
Right.
One of the reasons I got involved with DIFFA is so I could wear this jacket.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's
which I want to borrow after this.
I have a family member. For those who are listening on the podcast, you'll have to check out Facebook or YouTube to see the jacket. Thank you, husband, for letting me borrow it. But I have a family member who moved to a small to medium-sized town. And he, after he had moved there, was diagnosed with HIV. He's the type of job that he has, he really didn't have like employer insurance. So he was self-insured in a way. He kind of just went to the doctor when he needed to and paid the bills. He couldn't afford the treatment.
Right.
And if it weren't for an organization like that would be similar to the Resource Center in Dallas, he wouldn't be able to afford his medication. And heaven knows, how he would be today if it weren't for an organization that could step up and help supplement what he needed to stay alive.
Right.
So that's why I'm involved, is to give back to organizations who do just that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the impact on children, and you mentioned businesses. I'm the mother of 3 little boys, and I'm also a business owner. And I think business owners can think about how we take care of our employees and knowing that, again, it impacts everyone. When you are sick, you lose your job. You lose your job, you lose the ability to pay. Your children are affected. So there's really just so many ways that this virus impacts us, and that word sort of impact is what I chose to do with my time, is to impact as much as I can, as effectively as I can, to help the DIFFA mission.
I also think impact is a really good name for a podcast.
Absolutely. It's so ironic that we're saying that. It's so impactful.
You talk about your family too. You are truly, your son Gus is here.
My son Gus is here.
Heard that mom was going to do a podcast, video podcast.
He did.
And had to show up.
He did, yeah.
Gus is into video production.
He is.
That's awesome. It's a family affair here.
It is totally. Gus, it's important for him to see women in leadership positions, 1, and 2. He got to play hooky today for the inauguration anyway. So this is a real girl power day for my son, and we're just gonna go with it.
Right. Yeah. It's for those of you who didn't know, we shoot these ahead of time. I know this is on the 22nd, but the inauguration was earlier this week. So been a weird year fundraising wise.
Yep.
We did a really cool virtual wreath collection. We are still looking at what our safest and most responsible opportunities are for some of the other events that we're well known for.
Right.
But in the meantime, we're asking for donations. It's not a way of fundraising that we're used to.
Right.
We're used to making money by holding fabulous events.
Yep.
One of the things that came out of our wreath collection that has kind of grown into a bigger idea are these VIP packages.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So we
I'm really into this. I love this idea.
So we had it during Wreath. We had like 100 of them during Wreath, and we sold out very quickly of them. And we're like, light bulb above the head
People
moment.
are digging this.
Yeah. So you're involved in kind of seeing what else we can do with that, right?
Yeah. So the one coming up I'm really pumped about is Valentine's Day, because I sort of geek out over Valentine's. I have 3 little boys, and so I just love to watch them like decide who they're going to give their Valentines to. And so I sort of, with the help of Jen Miller, a good friend of mine, we
fellow board member,
we got together and decided to do Valentine's Day. They're kind of buckets. They're going to have some wine and chocolates. And if you're like me and you're busy and you really want to give someone a sweet treat for Valentine's, but you're sort of struggling that week and everybody's busy, this is a great way to help DIFFA. If you'll just jump online, grab a basket, we will deliver it to you to get to your significant other or your teacher or your friend or your boss or your coworker, whoever you want to give it to. And it'll help DIFFA out. And it's a nice way to kind of check that gift off too. So we're loving these basket ideas, and you can stay in your jammies and we'll just get it right over to you.
And it's from DIFFA. What's more high-end than that?
So it will be fabulous, as everything is with DIFFA. So the wine is great, the chocolate is great. There's other little knickknacks in there too. So
they're not available yet, so just keep an eye out.
Very soon.
Yeah, sign up for our email list if you haven't. Keep an eye out on all of our social media platforms and our website, diffadallas.org, if you didn't know.
Right.
So you're a new board member.
Yes.
And I'm really interested, and I'm new-ish relative to a lot of the people that are on the board. I've only been here for about 2.5 years or so. What was your biggest surprise? I don't know what the right word is. What was your biggest surprise as a new board member joining DIFFA?
I've been a part of a lot of organizations. I've been a part of political campaigns and different groups. And I would say that the sincerity of the mission is really something that's, we mentioned the sort of campfire moment, but the reason that the board members are involved is very personal and also very important. So I've seen board members rise to so many different asks, and especially during a weird fundraising year, everybody is so willing to step up. I've never seen sort of like a beg, like, please do this, or, do that. Everyone, there's just a lot of voluntarily raising your hand, which is really rare, honestly, in a lot of organizations. And it's very sincere in the DIFFA group.
We are a 100% volunteer board.
Yes.
We employ one person in our chapter.
Yes.
Serena, who's amazing.
She is.
Keeps us all
amazing
together.
Yes.
Corralled like herding cats. But,
yes.
But I say that to say we joined this board to work. Yeah, it's like having a second full-time job.
Absolutely,
sometimes.
Yes.
So I think that's what a lot of people don't realize about being a board member. Some of my friends are like, "Ooh, you're a board member now." I'm like, "I have a second job now." That's what that is.
Exactly.
That I do for free, gladly.
Yes.
But it's still,
we get to hang out with a lot cooler people, so that's kind of nice.
Haley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you for all you do for DIFFA and for this program.
Well, and thank you for what you do. I think we're better to have you and all of our new board members.
Yes.
Everyone's just hit the ground running this year.
Absolutely.
We needed to. And whenever it's time for our grant announcement later this year, I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised.
Great.
I know. You can learn more about DIFFA and all of the organizations that we serve at diffadallas.org. Until next time, with Haley Clark, I'm Shane Allen.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.